Let's be honest, not much is going right in the world right now, least of all my hair. We're stuck in lockdown here in Tokyo and I haven't been able to have a haircut for something like 2 months and it's just getting huge and there's nothing I can do about it. But that's the reality of the lockdowns, is channels like mine that drop daily content. You just have to hope that stuff will fall into your lap and the stuff that's a minus will be offset by the stuff that's a positive. And yesterday was a massive positive when the 7-Eleven Nike SB Dunk lows kind of fell into my lap. I was struggling for content yesterday. I was looking around for something and all of a sudden this news hit and I was able to sort of ride that wave. And then the day before that was a Pegasus video. So the last 2 days have actually been, because of the shutdown and because I've been sort of running slow and running late, that I've been able to actually get better content. And so sometimes it's a good plus like yesterday's 7-Eleven Dunk lows, and sometimes it's a minus like what's going on top of my head. There's nothing I can do about either of those. They just happen and they just fall into your lap. And today it's a little bit similar, because what happened was we found out about this upcoming release of these Nike Air Jordan 1 low palm trees, which I wasn't expecting to see at all. Hadn't seen them on any social media, hadn't seen them on any release calendars, and here they are dropping in just a couple of days' time on the 1st of May. And that's what we're going to do today, is take a look at that shoe, take it apart little by little so that you guys can see why I think this is actually going to be the very best shoe that you can rock this summer. The Nike Air Jordan 1 low palm tree. This is the Tokyo About a 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo About a 23 Sneaker Channelです。毎日アップするので、毎日見てください. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news and sneaker reviews. And as I've been saying, we're in lockdown here in Tokyo, Japan, which means I'm shooting from home, which I don't like to do. But it turns out the green screen's working really well at home. The light's working really well at home. And the sound's working really well at home. Maybe I need to keep doing this. Maybe this is one of those pluses that comes out of this terrible minus that has been the coronavirus for the last few months. And that's what we have to do, is we have to try and stay positive, try and look to the future and take what we can out of this, even though it is a terrible, terrible situation. And what I'm taking out of it is that this is my #1 shoe for summer 2020, whether you're rocking it in lockdown at home or whether you're rocking it outside. I look at this shoe and I can see it being worn in tons of different places, but especially I can see it being rocked with low socks and shorts and people just hanging out at the beach, or people in summer parks and things like that. So hopefully lockdown disappears and this shoe will rocket into the summer of 2020. And what I'm going to do today is take it apart bit by bit so you can look at all the little details on there that back up my reasoning for thinking that this is going to be the summer shoe of this year. So the first thing to do is look at the whole thing as a whole. And there's 2 things I really like about it. One is I like the soft tan tones on this sneaker, because to me they've got that kind of beach feel. They've got a sort of summery, light, kind of dusty feel almost, with this sort of long, hot, dry days of summer, but they're interspersed with 2 really fire pieces of color. One in that sort of beautiful yellow, sort of sunset deep yellow color, but also in that aqua blue as well, which gives you that feeling of water and the ocean and things like that. And to me, that all encapsulates together into that summer feel. So they've got the right colors as far as I'm concerned to make this a great summer sneaker. But the detailing in this that is the point of this sneaker and that makes it the total summer sneaker is all about that palm tree motif. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on the toe box. So behind me here you'll see me zooming in on the toe box, where you'll see that tan effect, which is the major color of the sneaker, is then overlaid on top of a white base. And that's continued in 2 particular places. One is in the toe box panel and the other is in the midfoot panel, where that palm tree sort of detailing comes in. Now because I research sneakers before I stand up and start talking to you guys every day, one of the things I did was I zoomed in on this, and I didn't realize this, and maybe you, the viewer out there, didn't realize this either, but there's actually some what I'm going to call horizontal lines that run through both design sections, the toe box part and the midfoot part. So hopefully I've zoomed in well enough on the green screen here and you can see that palm tree patterning, but you can also see a bunch of horizontal lines. Now it depends which way you look at it. They could be horizontal if you hold the shoes this way, but if you turn the shoes 90 degrees they're vertical, but I'm calling them horizontal lines, and they run right through the patterning in both places, and they're hard to see from afar, but like I say, when you've zoomed in closer you can see them in detail there, and I have no idea what they represent. The palm trees themselves obviously are part of nature. Now nature is not really known known for doing things in a sort of rhythmical, mathematical way. So the way that these lines are dead straight and they're interspersed at exact points across the sneaker means that they don't represent anything to do with palm trees as far as I'm concerned. They must represent something else, but I don't know what that is. And if you do know, I'd love to know in the comments down below. So please do let me know in the comments down below. But staying on that feature there, it's in that tan colorway on top of that white sort of the base of the sneaker. And I really like that. I really like the subtleness of the palm tree element on this, because if they'd gone with a contrasting color, say green, for example, as the leaves on a palm tree would be, it would have really stood out and you'd have been like, ooh, that's a bit too much. But it kind of, you know, I've always said it on my channel, I always talk about the subtle kind of little hints in a sneaker. And I love how the tan effect of the sneaker and the tan effect of that branding on there and that the palm tree branding on there is done in the same way. So it's very hard to see and you have to zoom in to get a look at that in those two places. Very, very dig it, very like it. It's a great feature. It's great. The colorway, it works really, really well. But then, like I said, there's contrast in this sneaker in two different ways. One is on the swoosh. So let's pan back to the swoosh and have a look at that yellow swoosh there. Is it satin? Is it silk? I'm not sure. I've read both. Satin and silk doesn't really matter because both of them are extremely fine and both of them give that kind of sheen. And that's the effect that they were going for with this, and it really, really works against that sort of dusty, sandy colorway underneath with that pop of almost sunset gold on the side there. And perfect, if you ask me, a perfect swoosh to go with this shoe. But then we go up onto the sort of lacing and tongue section, and that is then itself offset with the blues. So you've got the sort of tan effect of the shoe being offset with that golden sunset, and then you've got those two being offset with the blue and that aqua feel up there in two particular different places, specifically on the outside, a third place on the inside. And so on the outside, you've got it on the middle of the laces and that lace holder or that lace sort of stay area in the middle there where you've got the 23. And I love the way that's in blue, but then the 23 itself mimics that gold swoosh on the side there. And I just dig the kind of I don't know, the duplicity of it, the way that colouring balances off from the swoosh onto the number up there. But then you've got that blue on there, which is then echoed again further up the tongue when you get to that blue, that aqua blue Jumpman at the top. So, so the way they're sort of like blue at the top of the tongue, then blue and gold in the middle of the lacing, and then gold on the swoosh, you know. So it's sort of, they all sort of join together, but they join together really well for me, and it completes an overall sort of, almost like it's the narrative of the whole shoe. I did say though with that aqua blue, if you look on the inside, you can see that there's very heavily blue on the inside, and you've got a lot going on in there to sort of represent that. But when you've got these guys on feet, that's going to be sort of hard to see, basically, right? Because you're wearing these guys. So so the aqua blue features that really come in are in the middle of those laces, and then at the top of the tongue on that blue Jumpman on there. One place that doesn't come in, which is I think is a good choice, and if they had gone with the blue on the back, it would have been a mistake. But on the back of these guys, where you usually find that Wings logo, you can see again it's that tan and white kind of duality that's going on in the back of these guys, and I think it's a good choice. Had they gone with the gold, had they gone with the blue, or had they gone with another color on the back here to sort of give it contrast and stand out from the back of the sneaker, I think it would have been a mistake. But for me, it's actually a very big yes. And it just, as a total sneaker, if we pan out from all these details and just look at it from afar, it does what I love a sneaker to do. It looks great from afar, but when you zoom in on the details, you see more to it, and it has more of a story than just that sort of large, gross, from afar look to it. So to me, it's got both of those things going on. It represents summer very, very well. It's got a great colorway, and it's going to look really, really good in a lot of different situations this summer. So for me, it's a real great shoe, kind of coming in under the radar, a bit like yesterday's Dunk Lows that nobody kind of really saw coming, and still I think people are out there are sort of like, whoa, where on earth did they come from? Are they even going to end up coming into production? Production was one of the questions from yesterday. And the same with these guys, they weren't really, you know, up there, and I don't know if that volatility is going to happen in the sneaker game from now on, if it's going to be harder to trace drop dates because they're going to shuffle things around now that the sporting calendar has been sort of disrupted so badly. They have to sort of, you know, push back this sneaker and then bring something else and fill that space with another sneaker, and maybe that's what happened here, and they're releasing them a couple of months early, sort of in mid-spring rather than at the start of the summer. Either way, I think it's a great shoe, and I think it's very much the Jordan sneaker for the summer. Even though it's a Jordan 1 low, I can see this being rocked in a ton of different places. For now though, time for me to sign off, and thank you guys for checking out my content. I truly do appreciate it. I think I've got my head around this working from home thing. I've been doing it for a couple of weeks weeks now, and it seems to be working okay, except for the old barnet, as we say in the UK. I do need to get a haircut somehow, but who knows, maybe this will just keep on growing. For now though, time for me to sign off, and thank you guys for checking out my content and do what I do at the end of every single one of my videos, which is thank you guys for checking me out, and know that because I do this every single day that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.